It's 104.9 Coyote Country. Hey, it's Robert Miguel here with you doing the birthday show, and looks like I got another call here. Yellow?
Robert?
What's going on, dude?
Dude, how you doing?
I haven't talked to you in so long, man.
Man, it has been forever.
Wow. Okay, so you're on the show. I'm doing, country radio in Southwest Texas now.
Hey, congratulations.
I'm just going to give you a minute to make fun of me for a minute.
I have nothing to make fun of you.
Well, then you're off your game, because back in the day, it would have been crazy. Just so everybody knows, on the phone, I've got well, you say it. You say your name.
Dangerous Darren.
Dangerous Darren, former coworker of mine at 97.1 The Eagle in Dallas, and then you went on to bigger and better things doing Hair Nation at Sirius.
I am currently still on Hair Nation, still playing the rock stuff there, buddy.
So for my listeners here who don't know you, and I know you very well, we'll talk about that later. Give me your little resume, because you did KNAC in LA, and just give everybody the quick rundown of Dangerous Darren Radio, man.
Yeah, that was pretty much KNAC from '87 to '95. One of the first metal radio stations in the country. That was just like the coolest thing ever. Yeah. And then from there, I went to the Eagle and hooked up with you.
Yeah, such good times. And now for those of you guys out there who like Metallica, you pretty much invented
mandatory Metallica.
Yeah, that was kind of that kind of came from KNAC LA, where
that is definitely where that all started. So yeah, that was a lot of fun thing to get going, and now it's everywhere. So and I get no credit for it.
Pretty much any rock radio station you go to has a mandatory Metallica segment somewhere somehow, and yeah, it all started right here with Dangerous Darren. And
that is correct. There, see, I got credit finally.
Very cool. Well, everybody in Southwest Texas knows now.
Okay.
At least
I'll take it.
At least all the country listeners do. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you checking in. It is so cool to talk to you. We have so many great memories on the show. And I got to say real quick before we get too far into anything, I give you the lion's share of the credit. I mean, you came at it like I did. We both love music. It kind of in the whole business for the love of music for the most part. And then the rest just kind of came secondary, I believe. And you really showed me, especially at a radio station that had Howard Stern and a lot of really, what's the word? A certain type of personalities.
Yeah.
That really, the music was what got us there. It was just, I love your passion for the music you play, and I always try to kind of pattern myself after that as well.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, we both kind of clicked pretty quick. I mean, when I moved out there, I didn't really know anybody, and they threw me in with you, and we didn't know each other at all, and we just became the best of friends through that, and just a lot of concerts and late nights because we were doing 7 to midnight, and and running down to clubs or whatever after midnight to try and see Cinderella at that club that was closer to work, right. And Waffle House and all that kind of stuff during that time.
Yeah, and all that, and then of course you're a big city, LA, and then while Dallas is no small town, sure you were still adjusting to the dynamics and the differences between LA and Dallas. Now, I think it was funny. One little thing I remember you mentioning to me back in the day was how when you're from LA, and you're in radio, you're kind of like the bottom level of celebrity, right? Because you got all these actors and musicians out there.
Sure, yeah, you're at the bottom of the barrel there.
Yeah, and in Dallas, radio was a pretty big deal. We didn't have Kevin Spacey and Mel Gibson just out on every corner. So yeah, you got a lot of attention, and you tore up the radio waves pretty quickly in Dallas.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it was a little different when I got out to Dallas. I mean, it was a terrific town, and definitely a rock town. And there were just clubs everywhere that you could go to, and yeah, it was kind of a cool thing to be able to go to places and not know anybody, but everybody knew you. They knew us from the show and stuff, so we kind of, I guess got popular pretty quick.
Yeah, the show took on a life of its own, and I'll tell you what, man, you mentioned the clubs, dude. Didn't it just seem like we were out every single night, it felt like. I mean, you were single when you came to town, and unfortunately, I think I was married. And boy, that was really rough on my marriage. But boy, it seemed like we were at a show. I think I remember looking back at some of my concert ticket stubs and looking and seeing, hey, we're at Kid Rock on a Wednesday night, and Metallica on a Thursday, and then, watching Dokken on Saturday. I mean, it's like, wow, how do we do that? Can you do that now?
Yeah, I couldn't even do it now. I mean, now it's like I got to pick, they've got to be on a weekend, and it's got to be somebody that I really want to see. It's changed a little bit since then, but yeah, we were everywhere those nights, and it was just so much fun. And again, you taught me about that city, which was again a huge help for me since I didn't know anybody or anything about it, and so it was great to be able to tag along with you and kind of get it all figured out. So thank you for that.
Well, what's your best memory of the Dallas when we did radio together? Do you have anything that shines out? I'm trying to think of the biggest and best. I'm thinking the nights at the clubhouse might have been some of the most interesting things, Vinnie Paul.
That was a great place in itself. I mean, I'd have to go with that too. There was another club though that was close to work.
Oh, that would have been Dallas City Limits.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I haven't thought of that place. Dallas City Limits. I loved that place.
Yeah.
Because it was close, and we used to hit that up pretty good because they had some really good bands there. So that's probably a big memory for me, even though I couldn't remember the name of it. We were drinking quite a bit back then as well. So.
Like you mentioned Cinderella. I think we've seen Extreme out there, like a lot of more obscure late 80s, early 90s bands like Danger, and Lita Ford, and just so many great shows. Such good times. In many ways, I miss rock radio, but at my age now, man, country radio is just way more, as to where I am as a person. And when you left us in Dallas, you went to Disney Radio officially, right? That's what you.
Yeah, I did. I went to Radio Disney, and I'm actually still there.
Right.
Just hit 19 years here, and so moved out to California, living in in Burbank, and so working for Disney, which has been, they're the best. It's just a great company. And then job number 2 would be the Sirius XM job with Hair Nation.
So how does that work? Do you get to do both shows out of the same studio, or do you do a home studio thing for Sirius?
Home studio for Sirius, and then I actually have to come in to an actual building for Radio Disney.
The old-fashioned time clock, and
Yeah, it's the 9 to 5 kind of thing, but it's great. Disney's a fantastic company, so I couldn't say anything bad about them.
Yeah, and plus you get that friends and family discount.
Get into the parks for free. So.
Amen. Well, how's the family doing? Last time I talked to you, I think you were freshly married. I know you've had a couple of kids since we've really connected and seen each other. Well, how's family life?
Yeah, it's so married, got 3 kids, and all just pains in the butt, each one of them, and but it's great. So 2 of them are older and moved out and doing their thing, and so we still got one at home, and he moved out from Texas with us and just loves it out here, so we were pretty happy about that. So he's now definitely a California kid, so that's good.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, I really miss you, man. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to check in and say hi, and say hi to my new audience out here in Uvalde, Texas. Very cool. This is my hometown, by the way. Did you know that?
I did know that. I remembered that.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you went back home. Okay.
Born and raised here.
And that's great. Congratulations to you. Happy birthday. And I'm sure you're going to treat those people just well. And remember, if you ever want to come out, bring the kids, and we'll get them into Disneyland for you.
I'm going to go see the mouse and Dangerous Darren, man. Thanks so much for checking in, brother.
Thanks, Robert. It's great to hear from you.
All right, once again, give it up to Dangerous Darren from KEGL, also Radio Disney, and, of course, Hair Nation, Sirius Satellite. Thank you, brother. I love you, man.
Thanks, man. Love you, too.
It's 104.9 Coyote Country. Hey, it's Robert Miguel here with you doing